Hey everyone, if you're ever somebody who struggled with learning key signatures, learning how scales work, even the circle of fifths, we're going to cover all that today. And I've taken theory classes for years and years and years, and these are things that never made sense to me until I actually started figuring out how they worked. I was just shown pictures. This key has 3 sharps, memorize it. In this video, you don't have to memorize a single thing. This is going to be very teach the man to fish, not give him a fish kind of theory lesson. So hopefully by the end of this, all these concepts make sense to you and you can go and replicate them and understand them perfectly. And for anyone who's new, my name is Jordan Evans. I'm a full-time piano teacher and musician, and I love making YouTube videos. Today I got a very special setup. I won't be able to hear unless I put my headphones on because it'll interfere with the mic. But you can see I got my piano here today. This is a Korg digital piano that I use. This is what I use to practice on when I'm at home. But I created this desk actually with the purpose of being able to tuck it in here whenever I need it. This Korg keyboard is in my description right now. All the gear I use, I actually put in the link down there. So you could be using this microphone or my audio processor, even this cool laptop stand that I have. It's all down there. The first thing we're going to cover today is learning about scales. And a scale is just a collection of notes. In music, and this is for every instrument, from one note to the next note, we have 12 half steps, which is just every single note in between. Just like that. 12 notes. But in a scale, for the most part, we have only 8 notes. So we choose 8 notes, and the reason we get that is because we use whole steps. A whole step is just a combination of 2 half steps. So half step, that was 2 half steps, but I could just do a whole step. So for our major scale, and the major scale is the first one we're going to learn today. Our combination is just the root, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Yeah, just remember that. It's the same formula for literally any major scale. If we just start on any key, it's the same exact thing. That was A flat. This will be F major, same thing. Root, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Remember that last half step. That's important to what we're about to learn. And then quickly we'll learn about minor scales too. These are actually called modes, and the only 2 that we're going to be doing today is the Ionian, which is major, and the Aeolian, which is minor. If it's something you want to look into, just look in modes. You have Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, and then you're back to the next one. So there's 7 total. Another area of study, if you're interested, why do we have a scale? What makes the scales? Why do we only have 12 tones? Look up the overtone series. It explains all that. It's honestly a lot of what we're about to learn with the circle of fifths stuff that we go over. For the natural minor, we'll start on C. It's always root, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. All right, now that we've done the quickest explanation of scales ever in history, this is why we need key signatures. Because if the composer or the songwriter writes a song in a specific scale, he needs to have a way of telling the musicians, this is the scale we're using, this is what key we're in. And just so you understand, say C major. C major has no accidentals. Accidentals are sharps and flats. So if I'm playing on all the white keys, as you can see, if I was to play an accidental like C sharp, would just be going up. Sharp, it means go 1 half step up. If I was playing A flat, this is A, we just flatten it. So I have an A flat, B flat, C, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat. So that's how sharps and flats work. So say in the key of C, our key signature has nothing in it. The next one, which we're about to learn all about these, it would be G major, just for example. It has 1 accidental, F sharp. And so in our key signature, it would just look like this actually. I'll go ahead and write this down. First example of a key signature, you just write your musical staff, 5, and then a beautiful treble clef. It would just get 1 little F sharp right there where the F goes. That easy. So now at this point, now that I've explained all this stuff to you, in most theory classes, the professor or the teacher would say,
here's a picture of all the circle of fifths. Here's a picture of all your key signatures. Memorize them. We're going to have a test next week.
But we're not doing that here. No memorization, no test. We're just going to learn it. All right, we're going back to the blackboard. What we're going to talk about right now is called the circle of fifths. So I'll just write circle. In music, we have 12 keys, and there's 24 if you include major and minor. We're learning both today. So always at 12 o'clock, it's like a clock, actually. There's 12 keys, and each one goes at a different location on the clock. I'm no artist, but just thinking about how it goes around the clock helps me a ton. So right at the top, we have C, because the key signature of C has no sharps or flats. So as you can see, I just put that in there. That's what our key signature is. No sharps or flats. And here's where the circle of fifths come in handy. What the circle of fifths is, it just means that from where we start on C, we just go up the C major scale, 5 notes, or it could be minor actually. Fifths are always the same. That's why we call them perfect fifths. All right, now we're just gonna go up the C major scale. C, D, E, F, G. G's number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. Cool. So G, let's put that at the 1 o'clock location. 1 o'clock. Here's where, remember I talked about earlier with our major scales, that last half step's important. So let's just play G with all the white keys. That was weird. It's actually called mixolydian when we play it like that. Huh. Why does that sound bad? So we always need what's called the leading tone. Leading tone's a half step away from the tonic. Ah, it resolves it so nicely. Nice, cool. So, what did we have to do to create that leading tone? We added a note. What note's that? F sharp, C, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So look at that. I'll write this down. So now we have our first sharp, the F sharp, which is the leading tone of G. Here's the cool thing. When we go around this side of the circle of fifths, all the keys are sharp. Whenever we add a sharp, it stays there. So we stays put. The next one, G. G, A, B, C, D. D's next. Someone tell me the leading tone of D. C sharp. Yeah, you just go back one, make it sharp. C, D sharp, C. C sharp, D. Just like that. All right, and now as you can see, I'm going to put an F sharp here and a C sharp here. There's our key signature. Boom, we got 2. Pause the video because I'm going right into it. Tell me what's going to be next, and I'm going to do it right now. D, E, F sharp, because remember, we have an F sharp in the key of D now. D, E, F sharp, G, A. Boom. So A is going to go right here at 3 o'clock. Let's go and write us in a nice key signature. Beautiful. All right. A, what's our leading tone? G sharp. So now we got an F sharp. Remember, this order of sharps is actually important. I'm going to put them up here. We have F, C, G. Some people will make you do a mnemonic like fat, cats, get. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I don't do mnemonics for any of my students. I don't like memorizing. Music's not about memorization. Music's about knowledge and applying that knowledge. We're not going to use a single mnemonic in any of my lessons. We just learn it. So we have F, C, G. So check it out. We got a C sharp still. And then we just had a G sharp right there. The next one, A. A, B, C sharp, because it's in the key. E. So now we're right here at E. See what I'm saying? There's no memorization involved. You just follow the formula. It's this easy. I've never had to memorize it. Once you start playing a lot of music and you start playing in different keys, you're like, oh my gosh, all this fits right together. And when you start writing your own music or like looking at compositions, they all follow these same, all the chord progressions, all the modulations, it all just follows it. All right, E. So what's our sharp set? Oh, I'm going to draw the worst treble clef. All right, so we got an F sharp, C sharp. You always have to write it in the order. G sharp. What's our new one? D sharp. So that's our order of sharps. F, C, G, D. Easy. And here, this is so funny. Do you notice the pattern? They also follow the circle of fifths. F, C. That was a Lydian. And then D or C goes to G. See how easy it is? It's all just patterns. If anyone ever makes you memorize this stuff, don't. It's patterns. All right. Next one. After E, remember we have an F sharp and a G sharp now. We get to B. So B is going to be 1, 2, or 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 at 5 o'clock. I always mess this. Because I'm not a good artist. I always start messing up around here. Our leading tone, A sharp. Easy. So I'll just put an A right there. Look, it's also just following the circle of fifths on the inside where the order of sharps go. Gosh. And I'm telling you, 17-year-old me, like, wishes someone had taught me this. I literally just got shown a picture and was told, memorize this. We're having a test on Wednesday. B, I'm going to need to give myself some more room, actually. Throw a treble clef on there. We're going to have F sharp. Say them with me. C sharp. G sharp. D sharp. A sharp. I don't have a line to put it. The A goes down here. Yeah, you just put the A down there. Easy enough. All right, after B, what do we got? This is actually going to be the first pitfall. But just remember our steps. B, actually remember this. B and F are portals. They take us to other dimensions. So far, we've only been on white notes. And now the B leads us into an alternate reality. The B goes to F sharp. That's our perfect fifth. It's called the Star Wars interval too, if you're totally new to theory. Yeah, like that, Star Wars interval. So, that's our perfect fifth. Let's just follow our major scale. Root, whole step, half step, whole step. Takes us to the F sharp. Whoops. Yeah, just like that. Takes us to the And just following that takes us to the F sharp. Cool. All right, so that means our next key is F sharp. But this, at 6 o'clock, is where we can change to the flats. So for this one, we are going to say F sharp / G flat. We'll come back around and do the G flat. But for the F sharp one, man, I hope I gave myself enough room. All right, say them with me. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and what's our new one? Oh my goodness. And what's our new one? Now this is actually pretty tricky. F sharp, what comes before F? E. But there's no black note right there. This is actually E sharp, and this is a super important thing of teaching. If we're playing through our scale, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, you could say it's an F because enharmonically you're playing an F, F sharp, but every single letter has to be represented in the scale. So we say E sharp F, even though this is clearly you're just playing an F note, we call it E sharp. And something my theory teacher in college told me, spelling is important. The way we spell the notes, they actually mean very different things. If I called this an F, it would be a flat tonic. Whereas if I called it an E sharp, it's a 7. So we have to say, respect the spelling. And this is the example he gave me. He said, this is what it was. He said, choose Jesus. I went to a Christian school. Or choose Jesus. They sound the same, don't they? But one is choosing Jesus, one is eating Jesus. We don't want to do that. So remember, spelling in theory is so important. At this point of the lesson, look at this. We just learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 key signatures like it was easy. We did that in, I don't know how long I've been filming for, 15 minutes. Easy. We learned half of it. Congratulate yourselves. Go grab some water. Take a break because we're about to go on to the next half. All right. So up to this point, we've been going clockwise. Now we have to go counterclockwise to fill in the flats one because they add as they go. It's just easier to do it that way. So let's see. C, we have to go down. We have to figure out what the fifth coming to C is. There's 2 ways to do this. You can see that, oh, look, there's a C right there, an F right there. Or you can just go down to C and go backwards 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. F. What's very unique about F, and we're going to have to use our major scale formula to figure out what the new accidental is. So here we go. Throw a treble clef on there. All right, so let's go through our root, the first note. F, whole step, half step. What the heck? What's this note? F, G, A. We should be going to B, but this is actually called Lydian. It sounds very space themey. Lots of space music uses that, or like space themes. But we don't want to play Lydian. We want to play major scale. So we're just going to flat that. And then just like that, we go through, let's finish our formula. Let's see if we have any other flats. Root, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Perfect. Just one accidental, and it's a B flat. This is the hack of all hacks. Flats are annoying. Flats are always so difficult to learn unless you play like clarinet or a trumpet. They're so annoying for string players and piano players. I grew up as a violin player, so I never even saw a flat key for like 7 years. But this is the trick of all tricks. This B flat, that's our next key, B flat. It just goes like that. And you can also see, remember, F's our portal to get in. As I told you, F and B are the portals. Because just playing the white keys makes a tritone. So we have to sharp the F if we're playing that perfect fifth. But if we go down to a B flat, we play an F natural. So those are our portals. This F is now creating a portal through which we get. There's our portal. Here's our other portal right down here. Oh, man. I don't even know if you can see that. Portals. One's taking us into F sharp. And then this one's taking us into B flat. All right, no more messing around. This is at 11 o'clock. This is at 10 o'clock. So I just will write a B flat right here. Don't be afraid of the flats. They can't hurt you. We're going to write a B flat. And here's the thing. Let's work through this. Let's see what our new accidental will be. B flat, whole step, half step. There we go. What's that? B, C, D, E. No other flats. So now we got an E flat. But I'm going to tell you a secret. Check this out. F. Here's my F. It goes to B. It goes to E. A, D. Look, F, B. Guess what the next one's going to be? F, B, E. I told you this was so easy. And there's actually two reasons. Look, we got our E flat. That indicates what the next key is going to be. But look, we can already know the next one's going to be A flat after that. I bet you it's going to be D flat. Oh my gosh, look where we're at. We're now at G flat. I mean, the patterns are countless. The fact that anyone would make someone memorize this without teaching them the patterns is criminal. And it happened to me. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Who knows? I don't mean to throw people under the bus. So this is our 9 o'clock. We got, oh, no. It's 11:10. Now we got to get to 9 o'clock. Oh, man, this is where my circle of fifths starts falling apart. Oh, no. All right, so it's going to be kind of just out here to the side. I'll move back. So I'm not using a mic stand today. I knew I'd have to be all over the place. All right, so now we're in the key of E flat. Let's see what we got. We just keep the same ones. You know, we got a B flat, an E flat, and look at this. We got an A flat. There's two ways we know that, because you can just infer that the next in our order is going to be the A flat, or we can sit down and do it. Root, whole step, half step, whole step. So that's where our half step is. Whole step, half step. There we go. All right, next one. You guys tell me. It's easy enough. A flat, boom. All right, this one's going to be at 8 o'clock. Oh, man. All right, A flat. Man, I am just getting worse and worse the longer I go. Lord almighty. All right. B flat, E flat. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's right. We got an A flat. What's our new one? D flat. Easy enough. All right, and remember, whatever the last flat we added is going to be our next one. So D flat. This is actually our very last key, because D flat, if we're descending fifths, is going to take us to the G flat. And that's our Game of Thrones interval, the descending fifth. All right, so our last one, D flat. And look at this. My circle of fifths always start out so pretty, and then at the end here, I can never finish them, man. All right, throw in one last treble clef. We got B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. What's the last one? Excellent, G flat. And then this takes us to G flat. This is why we have to learn F sharp and G flat, because these connect us to each other. If we start on this side, we have the flat keys. If we start on this side, we have the sharp keys, but these meet in the middle. So let's quickly create our very last. Oh my gosh, when I was in high school and I learned the circle of fifths, that song Like a G6 came out. And so I just remembered G flat has 6 flats. Gosh, and that is so funny. So we got our B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat. What's the last one? No, seriously, I need to know the last one. G flat, because I always think of this key as F sharp. I never think of this key as G flat. All right, G flat, A flat, B flat. Oh my gosh, it's a C flat. Look at that. This is another enharmonic example. Look, I'm learning with you guys. So it could be just a regular old B, but we already have the B flat represented. So we have to say C flat. So let's go right here to our C and flatten it. All right, congratulations, everybody. We have finished the major scale circle of fifths. Wasn't that so easy? You can see where our portals are. You can see where our sharp keys are. Order of sharps, order of flats, where it connects. Beautiful. You guys could go and ace your theory test right now. You guys could see any key of music and immediately know what it is. And here's the cooler thing. I'm going to show you right now the trick. This is the trick of all tricks. It does not work for F. And C you don't need to worry about. But those two, just remember what they look like. G sharp, whatever this note is, the last key, it just leads to the key. So you can see this is on the F. It just leads to G. The last sharp, C, goes to D. So if you are taking your theory test or you need to quickly know what key you're in, you just go, let's see, E. We have a D sharp's the last one, E. Boom. A sharp, B. Easy. I mean, so easy. Here's how it works with the flats. Just take the second to last one, B flat, boom. Second to last one, E flat, done. Second to last one, A flat. Second to last one, D flat. I mean, it is so easy, you guys. All right. Now we're going to talk about how the minors come into all this. Each key has a relative minor, which means using the same exact notes, we can play the natural minor. So for C, here's the formula. Starting on C, let's go down 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Notice where we are now. We're on an A. So using the same exact formula, we have our whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. Remember, we learned about this earlier, the minor scale. Boom. So if I put an A minor right under here, this is the same thing. A minor has no sharps or flats. Let's keep on going through. And look, we can just use the circle of fifths in reverse, or we can count down 4 half steps. Let's do both. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got E. But look, let's find our A. What comes after A? E. Gosh. All right. Which way do you guys want to do? Let's do it the other way. So from here, we go to E, from E to B. So, I mean, we obviously know it's going to be B minor. But you know what? Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, B. Awesome. Next one. Let's see what we got next. This is going to be A would be F sharp. Easy enough, because remember, what is B? B's our portal. Let's make another portal. Look, it's falling into the portal. So now we got F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. From F sharp, E is going to be D flat if we follow this formula. But you could think of it as C sharp, because that might be a little easier because we have sharps in it. So yeah, just think of this as C sharp minor. That's the first time we even talked about C sharp. D flat can also be seen as C sharp, and it's got 7 sharps, but it's extremely rare. All right, so let's think of this as the D flat, though, because we're going in our circle of fifths. We have a D. What does D lead to? It's A, isn't it? So from B, D flat would go to A if we follow this, D to A. But you could also think of it as C to G. It's actually, see how that D to A or C to G. I'm telling you, it is like patterns galore. This is actually really funny. We have to get down to an A or a G, but we're starting on B. So to get down, how are we going to get down to A using 4 half steps? It's actually really funny. B, B flat, A flat, just like that. So the relative minor of B in this context, let's call it a sharp though. So you could think of it as C flat, B flat, A, G sharp. Okay, cool. Yeah, nobody's perfect, y'all. So this is going to be G sharp minor, because yeah, we're sticking with our sharp premise here. All right, F sharp. Let's call it E flat minor. Or now let's say D sharp / E flat. Look, this is where G goes to D sharp. And yeah, let's start back up here and go our way around. So F's relative minor, D, easy enough. All right, so F is D minor, B is going to be G minor. And there's 2 ways we know this. We can start on our B flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a G. Or you can see D goes backwards to G. From here, guess what E flat's going to be? C minor. 2 ways. You can just go from there to there, or you can go E, da, da, bum, C minor. And now, let's see, what's the next one? A flat. This one's going to be F. I can see that just by following this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, F minor. And this might be the most organized yet sloppy circle of fifths in history. All right, let's see what else we got. D flat's our very last one before we get back. And this one looks like it's just going to be B flat, but I'll double check it. B flat, nice. How about that? All right, everybody. Congratulations. You now know all 24 key signatures. I mean, give yourself a round of applause. This is incredible. And the minor ones are a little bit tricky to find. We have to use the context of the piece, because we'll see this and we might think, oh, look, I'm in G major. Is this G or E minor? How would you know just looking at that in a piece? If you see a suspicious amount of E's in there, because in the key of G, E is the 6th. We don't need to use that much. But if you see it starting on E, especially if it's in an E chord or an E pedal tone, maybe we're in the key of E, but it can't be the key of E, because the key of E has 4 sharps. Oh, I'm in the key of E minor. Another thing that'll give it a dead giveaway is we've only talked about the natural minor today. There's 2 other things called the harmonic minor and the melodic minor. I'll just quickly cover them because they're not as hard as you think. The harmonic minor simply gives us a perfect cadence. So if I'm in the key of E, the perfect go a 5th up, we're on B. B minor to an E minor isn't a very strong cadence. But what we want to have is that strong major 5th, which is our perfect cadence. Like that. And you hear it all the time in classical music. So in the harmonic minor, all we're doing is sharpening the 7. If we're in the key of E, all we're doing is creating a leading tone there. Easy enough. But in our chord, it gives us the B major. If that went over your head, don't worry about it. You don't have to learn it right away. The other one's called the melodic minor, which is where we sharp the 6th and the 7th. And that's for when people sing or when there's a melody line. It sounds much nicer when it's resolved. So if I was to just say in that same key, that minor is what gives us the minor feel of the key. But that is going to give us a nice nice thing to sing, because this isn't nice to sing. It's alright, but this is... Yeah, that's the melodic minor. Really, really nice for melodies. But cool, everybody. We have learned so much information today. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope I did a great job explaining all this. It makes so much sense in my head, and I just want it to make sense for everybody else. I don't want this to be something you have to sit down and memorize. I don't want this to be a chore. It's honestly so freeing. And I did an in-depth Circle of Fifths video. I'll leave a link to that. I don't know how YouTubers make it sound like they're talking to you in the present. I mean, how are they so good? They'll be like, so this is what we're doing right now. I'm filming this a day in advance when I'm posting it. So somewhere around here, there's going to be a link for a Circle of Fifths video. I go into depth, and I actually talk about the overtone series, which is another fascinating thing. Essentially, all the conclusions that we've made about music exist in science because of overtones. And if another civilization was to start from scratch, they would discover all the same exact stuff from us because it exists in nature. But that's how we get this. And it all just makes so much sense the more you get into it, the more you play it. And the whole point of the Circle of Fifths video that I made is I kind of show you in pieces what it looks like when we modulate between closely related keys and pieces and all kinds of stuff. But I hope this video was able to help you. I love teaching music. I'm a big theory nerd, if you couldn't tell. I love studying this stuff. It's really fun. It's really fun for me just because to see how it all works together and then to be able to listen to music and hear where it's being applied and everything. It is so cool. But I hope your musical journey goes excellently. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I'm glad I got to be a part of your musical journey, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.